what's up guys? So I got the trunk open right now and I'm going to be working on putting together the fuel pump relay for the car. I already got it semi wired up so far because Adam worked on it the last time he was here, which was about a month ago. So it's been like this for a while. I actually just got the connectors so I could finish everything. So I'm just going to show you guys the paper that Painless gave me. Let's see if I can reach it. The way you're supposed to do it and the way I got it wired up. So I guess obviously the battery gets grounded. Get a switched 12 volt source, then also goes to the circuit breaker. Circuit breaker goes to relay, and luckily Painless already has like all the relay wires already coming out of it, so it's already connected. And then you just have to ground the relay and also ground your fuel pump and run the large yellow wire to the fuel pump, which I'll show you in a second. So right now I have everything tucked back here behind where my speaker used to be because I don't have speakers anymore. So right now this is the ground for the relay, which needs to be grounded here. I still need to do a self-tapper and find a good ground, which is probably this. This should be a good ground to the chassis. And then I also have the power for the, I believe, what is this going to? This is the circuit breaker. Circuit breaker power, I actually zip tied it all up with my actual power to the car. So I'm just gonna strip this wire back and run it inside of here. So I'll cut this back and just run it straight, open this up and expose wire right onto the actual wire and clamp it down with this. And I also have this thick yellow wire, which will be the new power for the fuel pump. So I just gotta put a little connector on here and put it to the prong for the fuel pump, and also ground the fuel pump to a chassis ground. And then just have to come up here. And I already ran this yellow wire. I have to still hide it along with this black wire, which is actually for my voltage gauge. And take this yellow wire right here, and I'm gonna have to send it to a 12 volt switched power source under my dash. So right now I'm just gonna start off with everything back there, and I'll probably do that last little yellow wire up front last. So I'm gonna strip this wire back, get this connected into here, and start from there. So after we get it all wired up, I'm gonna bring a battery and put it in the hatch, and I'm gonna put an empty bucket up there and disconnect the feed line for the fuel, and make sure fuel is actually being pushed to the front, and make sure that when I turn my key that it starts sending fuel to the front of the car. So let me get this wired up and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, so I got it pretty much wired up for the most part. I'm still gonna disconnect my feed line so I can run into a bucket, and pretty much got everything wired up here. I got the power from the circuit breaker to the actual power to the battery, and then I have the fuel pump grounded and the relay grounded in the same spot. So you guys could see that the fuel pump ground is actually red, which is, someone will probably be like, whoa, why do you use a red wire? Well, because number one, wire is wire, and I couldn't find any black wire that is as thick as this one. This is probably 16 gauge wire, so I wanted to use thicker wire for the ground for the fuel pump, so I just used that, and I just have to wire up the 12 volt switched power source. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, bring the battery in, find myself a bucket, and see if my fuel pump can prime. And I also have my old fuel pump in there in case I fry something. It's just my old fuel pump, so I really don't care. I did not put my new fuel pump in yet, just in case I do fry the fuel pump for some reason. I did this wrong, so I do have a safety net here. So let's go ahead and try it out. Alright, so I have the battery hooked up here, and I actually have the 12 volt switch sourced. hooked up, and when I plugged the battery in, nothing came on, so that's a good sign, I think. So that means I plugged it into a switch volt source if it actually comes on when I turn the key here. But I guess we're gonna try to turn the key here. I have it run into this bucket here. I don't know. We'll see how it does. It shouldn't move too much. I know it's getting power because my headlights turn on. Fuel pump should have came on. Should have came on. Let's think about this here. Alright, so I figured it out, guys. This, where the 12 volt switch source was plugged into, it wasn't getting power. And how I tested this is I took it out of the port I put it in, and I turned my car on and had my gauges on, and I plugged it in to where my gauges are getting power. And as soon as I touched it to those wires, those exposed wires, there's a little bit of exposed wire where my gauges are plugged in. I don't know, it's such a mess down here, you guys will not be able to see it, but I touched it to that, and as soon as I touched it, I heard the fuel pump kick on. So I'm gonna have to find a different 12 volt switch source, and then we could try this out. I also could put it on this switch right here, but I really don't want to, but I'll figure it out. All right, so now that it smells like a little bit of E85 in my garage now, I think I got it all figured out. So I've got it plugged into a correct 12 volt switch source now, and I think it was priming a little bit into that bucket. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that it's working properly, then I can clean up everything and should be good to go. So keys in, batteries in. First position, no fuel pump. Second position, shooting fucking shit. Oh yeah, that fuel pump is working, baby. So, so that's how you pretty much do it. Oh my God. So, definitely highly recommend Painless as fuel pump relay kit. It's really easy to do. They especially make it a lot easier by already connecting the wires for you at the relay, and they actually have the wires, there's letters on them, and they actually pinpoint or tell you exactly what they're supposed to be plugged into. It says right on there where the wires go. So I'm gonna clean up everything and tidy everything up back here because it's freaking messy. So I'm glad you guys tuned in once again, and I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it, just like I am every day. And to be honest, this is my first car that I'm ever built. I never built the car before this. This is like my first legitimate build on a car, so I'm learning right along with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed everything that goes on, and like, comment. I love to hear from you guys, and subscribe for more, and subscribe if you're new. And also I'm going to be doing a compression test hopefully next weekend with James again. I already did a leakage test on the motor, and it is getting compression, but by blowing air into the motor, it's actually now, after getting set past a certain PSI, it actually starts rotating the crankshaft. So I can't even like hold it down so it won't rotate the actual crank from spinning. So I could see if it's actually getting compression, which I know it's getting good compression now, but I just wanted to see it for myself. So we're actually going to do a compression test so we could see that it could build compression itself. And we're going to do that, and everything should be good. and we're gonna keep chunking on and building on this motor. It's almost done. Really, the only thing left for me to get is a 4-port Mac boost solenoid for the boost by gear, a Skunk 2 70 mil throttle body so I can put the rest of my piping. I actually bought a bracket today that I'm going to have to make so I could hold this intercooler pipe off this off the intake or the exhaust. So I'm gonna mount it up here so it holds that up, and I'll probably put some, I got some door sealant, so I'm gonna put this foam in here so the intercooler can sit on the foam and not rub against metal all day, and figure out the wiring harness, and everything else is good to go. So appreciate you guys tuning in. It's Boosted Black Guy. I'm out. Also, don't forget, if you guys are buying anything from Skunk 2 in the near future, don't forget to use my promo code. It's BBG10 for 15% off your entire order. Or you could contact me personally. My email's on my YouTube channel, and also you can message me on here. I pay closely attention to that, and I'll try to find the best price for you guys, whatever part. Just message me your part number that you want, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible and get the best deal for you. So once again, it's Boosted Black Guy, and I'm out. Peace.